Welcome, everybody, to the Boat Dealer Profits Podcast. I am your host, Matt Selhorst, creator of the Splash System, founder of Boat Dealer Profits and Boat Dealer Profits Marketing Agency. And before we get started, I want to tell you about a new webinar that we've just released. It is the new way to sell more boats, make more money, and have more fun. As you know, the economy is changing, the industry is changing with the consolidation, and the consumers are changing with all the technology, the smartphones, the information at their fingertips, and their buying patterns are changing. And that requires us as dealers, as retail boat dealers, manufacturers to sell differently, to approach our marketing differently. And we talk about all this in the new webinar. It's an on-demand webinar. I know how busy your schedules are. I know how any second somebody can walk in the door and you had a free 20, 30 minutes, and now you've got a customer that you've got to take care of, a delivery that popped up, a fire to put out. So I've made it an on-demand webinar where you can watch it at your convenience. You can watch it on your smartphone as you sit in your lazy boy in the evening, or at your desk as before you open up the dealership. Just go to boatdealerprofits.com/new way, all one word, NEWWAY. You can sign up for that webinar, get instant access to it. It's about 37 minutes, and it is probably one of the best webinars that we've done, as I break out some new information, give some new examples, and we talk about what's happening and what's working in today's environment as we start heading into 2020. So today I wanted to talk about massive action. It's a philosophy that I have implemented in my business multiple times, and it's something that I think as we head into the fall season, there's an opportunity for dealers, for manufacturers, for anybody in the industry to take this massive action approach to get some big boulders moved so that you can start the 2020 season just like fire. We know, well, we don't know. There's predictions that there's going to be a slowdown in the marketplace. Maybe not significant, but people are expecting flat, maybe slightly down. There is right now the inventory levels in most parts of the country are higher than where most people are comfortable, and that's causing a little bit of fear. Not a whole lot, but a little bit of, okay, what's on the horizon. And that's why I wanted to talk about this idea of massive action as it comes to sales and marketing, but it can be used in any aspect of the of your dealership planning. So what is massive action? Well, I'll tell you massive action in a story that I've gone through. So 2 years ago, the my business was growing, everything was going good, but I felt that if I wanted to go to the next step, if I wanted to really grow what I was doing, I was going to have to kind of step out and do a little bit more. So for me, my massive action, and it was sometime, I want to say early 2017, 2016, 2017, I decided to go into massive action mode. So what did I do? I charted out a course of where I wanted to be and then work backwards to determine what I all needed to get done. So for me, I needed to generate more leads coming in. I knew I had a incredible program and offered great service to my clients. Most of the clients that we worked with through our signature program, the Splash System, and then we continued to work with them in additional ways, whether it was additional sales training, whether it was additional consulting, whether it was done for you marketing. It was a number of different things that we did, but we started the relationship. Everything went so well that we went to the next step and we continued working together over time. And what I needed to do was I needed to get more exposure in the industry, become that expert positioning from, hey, this is a guy that's a salesperson and became very successful, but what can he teach us as a dealership owner? What can he teach us? We've been in business for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. I've grown up around this. Why would we need this outside help when we have much more experience than this guy does in our business? Well, so I said, okay, what am I going to do to show that yes, you have more experience in the boating industry, but I have more relevant experience in what works today, not what other people are doing, but what actually is working best in today's sales and marketing environment with the change to digital, with the social media revolution that's going on, the mobile revolution that's going on, the consumer buying habits are changing, the technology is changing, all of the things that most dealership owners, general managers, sales managers, marketing managers just don't have time to keep up with because they have 100 other things that they need to do in addition to the sales and marketing. So I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to position myself as the expert and I'm going to be everywhere. So I revamped our program and I said, okay, we're going to adjust this so that we are delivering the absolute best, most up-to-date information and giving the most impactful strategies that are, hey, they're done for you. They're ready to go. You can just plug them into your dealership, and all you need to do is adjust maybe 20% of them. Email templates, lead generation strategies, Facebook and Google ads, follow up, 24/7 boat selling machine strategies, sales training. All of these things, we updated that. So we improved our training and our delivery, as well as the done for you stuff. Everything kind of builds off each other. Then we said, okay, we want to be everywhere. Now we've got this updated program that is rock solid, and we continue to update it every 6 months or so as things change and evolve, and we learn what's working better and as things shift in the industry. Then I said, okay, let's see if we can start writing more for boating industry. And they asked me to become the sales and marketing columnist for Boating Industry Magazine, which initially I'd been writing and they'd been posting it on the website and the blog and giving them content, but they liked what I was doing so much that they invited me to become the actual sales and marketing columnist in the print magazine. So every issue you'll see a column for me in there. So that increased my credibility, increased my exposure, gave me a platform to share the different ideas that we're learning and that we're discovering, that we're mastering here at the Boat Dealer Profits Marketing Agency. Then I said, okay, what about a podcast? I know it's something that not a lot of people in the industry listen to, but if there is excellent content that's delivered in a podcast, like you're listening to right now, there's a group of people that may not read the magazine, but while they're commuting, they'll listen to a podcast. I can get more engagement and build that relationship through this podcast and get people the opportunity to know what we stand for, the different techniques that maybe in an article you don't get the full grasp of what we're talking about, but the podcast where I can explain and do different things, that will come through more. I wrote my second book, my first one, Marine Marketing Strategies, which we sold a ton of copies, Barnes and Noble, Amazon, and really anywhere books are sold. And I said, well, let's take another approach, and I titled this one Boat Dealer Profits: How the Splash System can help sell more boats, make more money, and have more fun. And that's what I branded everything around, is that new book title. That book, again, is available at Amazon, available at Barnes and Noble. You can order it from any bookstore. We've given it away when I've spoken at dealer meetings. There's a number of those books, hundreds of those books that are out in the world today. Again, that helps generate that interest, that relationship, and the excitement. People that get that book, they're, because things change so fast, I wasn't able to put the specifics of here's exactly how you do it, but I painted the picture of this is what could be in your dealership. You could have a 24/7 boat selling machine. You could have a referral generation machine. You could use the Splash sales framework. And these are things that you're likely not doing the way that our dealers do it, not doing it the way that is going to optimize your conversion, your margins, and your repeat and referral business. So we put that out in the book format. Then we updated our website. We updated all of our testimonials and got those on the website. We put in a new contact management system. In that contact management system, we developed a new newsletter format, which consisted of Boat Dealer Profits TV episode, which I had been doing consistently. So we added that to the newsletter. We added the podcast to the newsletter. We added the link to the Boating Industry Magazine to the newsletter. And we developed some offers, some calls to action to get people to engage. We did all that within about a 2-month period of time. from start to finish: the book, the cover, the podcast, the website, the graphics, the context management system, the automation. All of that got done in about a 2 to 3 month period of time. And I worked my butt off getting that done. I hired outside experts when I needed to. I went to I did some personal studying. Okay, I'm doing this podcast. What do I do? I hired somebody to set it up for me, but I had to go out and listen to podcasts and figure out how do I do a podcast. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. The technology I had help with, the setup I had help with, but I still had to be the one to get on the microphone in my studio and record the podcast. So I had to figure all of that out, and I had to just get started with some of it. Writing the book, I just had to get started. Doing the podcast, had to get started. Doing the automation, had to get started. And once I got started, I had a really messy kitchen for a while. There was a period of time where things weren't always getting done the way they needed to. Like my newsletters kind of fell off for a period of time as I was doing this. My other writing got kind of turned off as I was doing the book and developing everything else. The only thing that I kept straight was, okay, client stuff gets done, and then I've got this messy kitchen with all this stuff going on. My website lady, Lindsay, was doing the website redesign and getting that all built with my input every week. Adam was doing the automation and my new context management system, helped me get set up. Another Lindsay, Smooth Sailing Lindsay, I call her, was doing the podcast and helping me with all of that setup. All three of them and myself, so the four of us were working together to bring it all together. I hired a videographer to shoot some new videos, and boom, at the end, it kind of all came together, and we tweaked and we adjusted, and it was all done within, like I said, about a 3 month period of time. The same concept of massive action, maybe having a little bit of a messy kitchen for a period of time, but getting a bunch of stuff done in a very short period of time, so that once you get that done, now the framework is all set up for you. Everything is there. You've done all the work, so it's easy to maintain and keep that consistency going for the long haul. So that was 2 years ago that I did that. The podcast has been going. It was every 2 weeks for the first year, and then went down to monthly. Newsletters go out at least twice a month. The book is available. That once that was done, it was done. All I've got to do is promote it, whether it be with some boating industry emails or some other direct mail or whatever. However, I'm promoting it at the time, speaking at dealer meetings and selling it or giving it away at the dealer meeting, whatever the case may be. But all of that stuff was done, and I was able to just maintain it because I did all the legwork up front. So, how does that relate to you? That's the concept that I wanted to share with you. Massive action and kind of a messy kitchen is the way a mentor of mine, Dan Kennedy, talked about it. Is when you're doing that, you're going to have a messy kitchen and things are going to fall through the cracks, and you're going to be a little bit chaotic for a while. And it's not you're going to be out of your comfort zone. You're going to be doing some things that maybe you aren't naturally good at. So, what in your dealership, what in your boat business could use some massive action? What is it that seems like a daunting project, like rebranding, redoing your lead generation, setting up automation, follow up, newsletters, easing? What in your boat dealership do you need to get done? Maybe it's the same thing as, hey, this year our leads, our traffic was way low. When we got people in the door, everybody was negotiating and we were discounting unnecessarily. We were always discounting, discounting, discounting. We weren't getting as many repeat and referral deals as we typically get. So, what could we do to address that in our dealership? Well, you could take that approach and say, okay, let's go into massive action mode. And over a short period of time, let's do everything we can to build out a system that generates more leads, that then takes those leads and nurtures them to try to drive them into the dealership, so we get a door swing, so we get somebody walking into our physical dealership. What can we do to revamp, maybe not redo your whole website, but just add some key pieces? I find most dealers, there's about 5 additional web pages that we can add that make a significant difference. We can take those web pages, tie them back into the nurturing, what I call the 24/7 boat selling machine in the Splash system, tie those together, generating social proof, generating some educational material, so that when consumers come in, they're better positioned. They see you not just as a salesperson, but they see you as an expert. Um, what if you tackled that and said, okay, over this next period of time, we are going to tackle this and we're going to get this installed so that come end of December or January or February when our boat show kicks off, we've got all this in place. Yes, it may get real messy, but we're going to get it done. Maybe it's on your service side. Maybe something in your service is just completely out of whack, and you say, you know what? We're going to tackle our service efficiency, and we're going to go through and we're going to tear everything apart. We're going to clean out the shop. We're going to implement processes and procedures. We're going to change our paperwork. Maybe we're going to change our technology and our systems, and we're going to go through and do that. So that's the first step, is deciding what's the big focus, what's the big needle mover that you can make in your dealership, and you're going to take that on as a challenge. Now, a couple of things that can make that easier. The first one is know exactly what you're going to get out of it. Make sure that the juice is worth the squeeze. Make sure that if you're going to put that work in, that the end result is going to be there. So there's opportunity. So if it's sales, if it's service, if it's your pro shop, if it's storage, I don't know what it is in your dealership, but figure that part out, and then go into massive action mode. One of the best things to start with is not what can I do, but who can help me. So if it's service, if you're looking for service efficiency, I would reach out to Valerie Zybron, Valerie Bird, and say, okay, what can Valerie do that's going to help us get through that messy kitchen part? Because she's already got it figured out, right? She knows what a perfectly efficient shop should look like. And with her assistants or somebody like her, I think she's the best that does that type of thing, can come in and say, well, you don't need to figure everything out yourself because I've already got it figured out. All we need to do is take the 20% or so that's unique to you, your personnel, your market area, your shop layout, the unique things that make you different than the 100% of dealers out there. But she can come in and say, hey, listen, this is what it needs to look like. We know this is how to get the most efficiency out of any service shop. Here's the forms, here's the procedures, here's the policies, here's where you need to lock this door and cut off access to the general public, to the parts and accessory, so that things don't go missing. You don't have, you don't have any of that going on, and you really lock things down. Here's how you allocate for rigging, and how you allocate to sales, to service, so that everything's accounted for properly and you can get the maximum efficiency. Here's where things should be. Here's your benchmarks where you want to get everybody. And oh, by the way, here's how to train some new techs and use an apprentice program so that you can get your next generation of technicians trained up. And she takes that, what may take 90 days or 120 days to do it on your own, and a lot of headaches and probably a lot of mistakes, and condenses it down into a shorter period of time. You get a better result, you get a faster result, and you get a result that's going to give you long-term success, right? Now, if it's on the marketing side, somebody like myself, I'll tell you what we do with our Splash Bootcamp. So our Splash Bootcamp is our accelerated program where we install the Splash system in a dealership, from lead generation, the 24/7 boat selling machine, engaging the prospects, taking a lead, getting them into a traffic that walks into your showroom, picks up the phone and calls your salesperson, or at least engages via email. And we take them from being totally online to, okay, now let's get a personal contact of some sort with the salesperson. The Splash Sales Framework, which is not a word for word, this is what you need to do, but here's the steps that you go through to get yourself in a position to have a better likelihood of getting a high margin boat sale more often, and gives you more tools than just discounting to closing, handling negotiation, making sure that you get the most out of your F&I opportunities, that you're selling those financial products, and then putting them into a referral generating machine. So that's the boot camp. And what we do over a 3-day period of time is we take that massive action approach. So we pull everybody out of the dealership that needs to be involved: owner, sales manager, salespeople, marketing people, anybody that kind of is client facing. I've had some dealers pull in the service manager if they need some involvement. And what that does is it gives us a lot of buy-in from what we're doing. And over a 3-day period, And we've been doing them more on site at the client because of some of the cool things that we've added over the years. But we get them out of their dealership, we get them out of their comfort zone, out of their day to day routine. They pull in me and the expertise that we have here at Boat Dealer Profits to be their outside help because I've got this framework already created, right? So we can take that framework and I've got a process that I take us through over that 3 day period of time. And we start with, okay, we're going to start building out our communication strategy. So what makes us unique and different? And we're going to craft these messages so that we have what I call a unique selling proposition in answer to the question, why should I do business with you versus any and every other option available to me, including not buying a boat at all? So we talk about what's the benefits of owning a boat in your area. We talk about the weaknesses of your competition. Where can we exploit and pick apart the competition? Where are you really strong? What are the things that your clients really like about you? We build that up. So we develop that unique selling proposition. From that, we create two professional videos. So while we're on site, I do a video. We take all that work that we've done, develop it into a script. We have a spokesperson for the company record the scripts as we're on site in the dealership. We focus on anything that's gonna take the person that's online and give them a picture of why should they at least give you an opportunity? Why should they walk into your dealership? What makes you different? Put a face, put a personality to your dealership so that the people that are online searching, which is virtually everybody today, is comfortable coming into the dealership. They know what they can expect. We reduce the risk of them coming in by some scripting things that we do, by the way that we develop the video. We create that for them. We create 12 months of marketing in that 3 day period of time. So now that we know what the messaging looks like, we know what the consumer's profile look like for each brand that they use. We know how to speak to them in different ways, right? So we develop 12 months worth of marketing so that we have that nurturing sequence done. We do this in October, November, December, January, February, March, and now we can take that, and because it's already developed, when you're busy in February, March, April, May, June, it's already done for you. And it's just a matter of getting it sent out so that everything is created in that messy kitchen period. But the implementation over the long haul, consistency is really easy. We create the event marketing. So we think about not, oh, shoot, we have a lot of inventory on hand. What are we going to do? Oh, let's do an event. We say, no, we know when your inventory is going to be at levels where you want to get some movement before Memorial Day, before the 4th of July, before Labor Day, before your boat show. And we know when those key moments are. So we develop an event strategy and we develop an event so that they're easy to put on, easy to promote, to generate the maximum exposure, the maximum attendance of quality buyers. That's the whole goal of the event, is to get quality buyers. And the second goal is to generate additional leads. So we create that. Then we take action on developing social proof with online reviews. While we're in that messy kitchen phase during the boot camp, we say, okay, here's what you need to do. And we're going to, by the time that 3 days is up, you're going to have 20, 30, 40, 50 new online reviews. We know how powerful those are in the sales process, in helping move up your rankings in Google, all of that stuff. Those online reviews lead to a better end result, and we say, okay, let's get it done. We know this is a system that works to generate online reviews. So we're going to just pour it on from your previous clients. And then we're going to put a process forward so that going forward, you can add good quality online reviews and continue that momentum. Then we create sales and credibility focused tools. The video I mentioned is one of them. A customized magazine, educational resources, articles. And again, we can do this in a 3 day period of time because I have the templates already built. I know exactly what's going to go in them. All we're going to do is we're going to customize it for the particular dealership I'm working with so that when I walk away, they have all of these tools that they can use within their 24/7 boat selling machine, at their boat shows, on site at the dealership, on their website. Um, all of these tools that help the salesperson take somebody from an online shopper to a lead, and take them from a lead to an engaged prospect, take them from an engaged prospect to a high margin boat sale. And these tools allow you to make a good salesperson great. And a great salesperson, it makes them even better because it makes their job easier. I talk about it in terms of you can score a touchdown. You can go from the 20-yard line, drive 80 yards to a touchdown, or that's the work that the salesperson does, right? Or you can give them the ball on the 50-yard line and they only have to drive 50 yards for the touchdown. And if you look at I don't have them in front of me, but if you look at the percentage of scoring opportunities or scoring successes, when you start at the 20, it's like 3 times better scoring chance if you start at the 50-yard line. If you start at the 20-yard line in the red zone, then it goes up even more. So what we try to do is we try to position that prospect with tools and strategies that we know work, good communication, so that when they get in front of the salesperson's job is that much easier, which makes it that much easier for them to get a high margin sale, not just a sale, but a high margin sale. Then we set up an online video marketing plan, develop a Facebook strategy, develop lead generation strategies, develop a plan to own the local boating market on social media, and just be what I call the mayor of boating in your area, the type of boating that you do in your area. And here's the strategy. Here's how you do it. So now it's easy to maintain that going forward. Cheat sheet and tools to make everything easier and consistency easier, because once you go through this messy kitchen phase and you have all these tools, you've set up the proper technology, which most dealers already have the proper technology in place. All we're doing is installing it in the technology, setting it up, which is the difficult part for a lot of dealers because they don't have that expertise or the willingness to dive in sometimes. Get all of that technology in place, all of the systems in place, kind of the who's responsible, all of that in place over this 3-day period of time, so that over the next 12 months, it's easy to maintain that consistency is there. Install the 24/7 boat selling machine. This is a huge one. I have dealers that I worked with 5-6 years ago that their 24/7 boat selling machine is still in place. It's still churning out opportunities for their salesperson. Now, the 24 boat selling machine, it's kind of a misnomer. It's not a selling machine, but it's a way to take those old leads, to take the leads that you've generated from the boat show, from Boat Trader, online, your manufacturer leads, nurture them, nurture them, nurture them, nurture them, and eventually spit out that personal engagement with the salesperson, a phone call, an in-store visit, an email at a minimum, so that the people are raising their hands and saying, hey, I'm ready to buy now. And those 24 boat selling machines, once you get them installed, they're there forever. And it's just a matter of, hey, making sure that everything that you talk about is still relevant and adjusting them on a yearly basis if you need to. Complete sales training. Depending on the dealer and depending on what their specific needs are, we may spend a half day, even a full day, doing a complete sales training, walking through the Splash Sales Framework and going through a full day of sales training. And it all relates back to everything that we've done. So we've got the lead generation, we've got the 24/7 boat selling machine, we've got the offers, we've got the social proof, we've got the education, we've got the unique selling points, all of that. And now we say, okay, and here's how you use all that stuff in your sales process. And you go through the greeting and the interview and the $1,000 presentation, how to present price the proper way. That's going to give you an increase in margin almost instantly. I've had dealers that I've only taught them that piece at the very beginning, and instantly their margins went up because they started handling price properly, and it just made it that much easier to hold margin. That complete sales training, then we go in, because the entire team is involved in that full 3 days, and I have that process. I've done it so many times now. I've got it nailed down that everybody participates, which means everybody gets buy-in and everybody can see, oh, I see how this is going to help me make more money. And that buy-in is key for the long-term success. And then we install advanced tracking on the website. This is a little bit more advanced thing, kind of a nuance, but we get the website technology set up so that over the long term, you can use some of the more advanced digital marketing strategies. It's free to set this up, but once you have it, now it opens up the opportunity to do more advanced, more targeted digital marketing strategies on Facebook, on Google, Display Network, and it opens up a whole new world that 80% of the dealers in the marketplace don't even know it exists, and certainly don't have their website set up to do it. So that is how we approach, if sales and marketing, if getting more leads, converting more leads, holding margins better, and ultimately selling more boats, if that's the big needle mover for your dealership, the Splash Bootcamp is an opportunity to, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump on this and we're going to address it. That's how we do it in the 3-day on-site intensive. And in that 3 days, we get everything done. Over the next year, I'm available to coach and to make sure that everything gets completed, that everything stays on track, and I'll be on the phone sending emails and checking with everybody to make sure that we're doing what we need to do, make the tweaks that we need to make. And it's an incredible 3 days. And when I walk away, it's not 100% done, but we've got everything built. I come back and my team finishes up the video editing, the graphic design on the tools that we're creating. Whoever your website provider is, we make sure that they've got the additional web pages added to the site and put on. We install everything in the your contact management system. So whether you're using 3Clicks or Footsteps or 360 or whatever system you're using, we create all that and we make sure it's running, and then we test it and make sure everything's good. Oh, by the way, we also do some mystery shopping of your competition, so we know what they're doing and we try to exploit what they're doing, find out if they're doing anything that may not be above board, find out if they're doing something that, ooh, that's something that we need to know about and we need to preemptively address that. Sometimes we find out some interesting stuff that the client doesn't know about. But it's that messy. It's messy. We spend those 3 days and we've got stuff everywhere, and it's, we're having all these conversations that may not make sense at the time. And when we come out of it at the third day, everybody has bought into it. We start cleaning up the mess and we start making sure that everything's ready to go forward. We put the policies and procedures, we talk through that so that we know what it's going to look like going forward. And now, a year later, you've got all of this installed in your dealership. You've gotten some wins already because we give some quick win strategies as well. You got some wins throughout the year, but now you have that asset, and I call it a snowball. We start building the snowball of success as we generate more leads. We send more leads through a solid 24/7 boat selling machine. Your salespeople are trained up to get the maximum result out of the leads that you do generate and nurture. We close them. We've got the repeat and referral strategy set up. And now that snowball starts building. And no matter what happens with the economy, your competition, you've taken control of what you can take control of to get the most out of your marketplace. Okay. So that's the strategy of massive action. And you can do it for anything in your dealership. If it's sales and marketing that you want to focus on, if that's where your big opportunity lies, well, then you can get on the phone and we can talk through in more detail. Just go to boatdealerprofits.com/profit maximizer. With that, you'll just schedule a call with me. We'll have a conversation. Make sure that you qualify to work through that program, whether it's the 3-day. We do this in a 90-day version where it's a little bit less expensive. And we do it virtually. So I'm not traveling to you, but we do the same process virtually. And then there's another opportunity for small dealerships. It's for small dealerships if they want to do it on their own. I give them all the tools, everything that they need, but they're the one that leads the charge. So if that's what it is, reach out to me and we can talk through it. Again, boatdealerprofits.com/profit maximizer. You schedule the call, put in a little bit of information so I can prepare for the call, and then you can book your date and time right there on the form. I've talked to some dealers in other time zones, other countries. If you're in Alaska, Hawaii, or Australia, you might have to email me and I'll schedule a specific time for you. So just email matt@boatdealerprofits.com and we can talk through that. But whatever your challenge is, the biggest opportunity, I want to challenge you to tackle it this off season. If it's service, tackle it. If it's storage, tackle it. If it's your parts and accessory business, tackle it. If it's sales and marketing on major unit sales, tackle it. It's the only way that you're going to get that big boost up. Now, I'll tell you, in my story, what happened was after I went through that big investment, I invested a lot of money, invested a lot of time, a lot of effort. What came out of it was a record year that year preceding. After I did all that work and went through my massive action, we had a record revenue year. that following year. And it's continued because we didn't just do the work that was short term. Like it wasn't, we just got on the phone and started calling everybody and calling everybody and calling everybody. We actually set up systems so that once we built it, it was just a matter of maintaining those systems and keeping it going. I didn't have to, redig the ditch every time. Once it was there, we just utilized it and set it up in a way that it was easy to utilize. So that's my challenge to you. I hope you found this valuable. That concept of massive action is something that you can use in a number of areas. Can use in training, can be used in improving performance. It's especially helpful when you're talking about systems and procedures that you can create and then use for the long haul. So that is it. Again, boatdealerprofits.com/profit maximizer to set up the call. You can go there, or boatdealerprofits.com/new way for that new webinar that we've just released. It's a great one, and you can check that out there. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we will talk to you very soon.